Hey everybody, this is a video for my grade 12 essential math students. This is something called the gross debt service ratio, the GDSR. This is lesson 4 in your home finance book. Make sure you're in the right place. And this is the formula that's basically used by banks and lending institutions to see if people actually qualify for a mortgage. In other words, they want to make sure that you can actually afford the house that you're trying to buy. Obviously, the bank has good reasons to do this. Number one, here in Canada, it's the law that says they have to. And number two, it's just not good business for a bank or a lending institution to sell a mortgage to somebody that they don't really have any hope of being able to pay. And there's the moral issues. I mean, if you've ever heard the phrase house poor, there are some people who have such a high mortgage compared to the amount of money that they bring in, their salary and their earnings, that really all they can afford to do is pay their mortgage. They can't afford to keep vehicles on the road, or they need to visit food banks to help themselves out because they're having a hard time affording groceries. And you'd be surprised at how many people are in that situation in what would be very nice and expensive neighborhoods. There are people in some of the most expensive neighborhoods in this city who have to visit food banks to get help to feed their families because they are house poor. They can't afford their own mortgage, or maybe better put, they can barely afford their own mortgage, and they don't have any money to kind of live the rest of their life. So the GDSR is a formula that's put into place to basically say that you are not allowed to have a gross debt service ratio that is over 32%. And if we'd have had a provincial exam this year, you have to memorize that number. That 32% number isn't given to you on the exam, so you have to remember it. Anyway, here's the formula. The gross debt service ratio, which from now on we're just going to call GDSR, is your monthly mortgage payment which of course we all know how to calculate that. We learned that back a couple lessons ago, plus your monthly utilities payment, and I should say payment or payments, you can add them all together, plus your monthly property tax payment, all divided by your gross monthly gross monthly income times 100. So times, this whole thing is times 100. I should put that times up here. There we go, times 100. So there's a few words here that we better make sure we know what they mean. First of all, utilities. What are your utilities? Well, that would be things like your TV, phone, internet, which for a lot of people is one payment. Your water bill payment, your hydroelectricity payment, your heating bill if that's separate from your hydro, if you have to pay for parking because it's a condominium, all of the things you pay every month to live where you are trying to buy property. And for some people, they have their monthly property tax payment built in to their mortgage payment. I know we do that. But notice that that's still the same calculation, right? This is added to that. So either this payment already has it added in, or you have to add it in separately. In these examples here, I think we have to add it in separately. And finally, your gross monthly income means before taxes and deductions. I know a lot of people look at this 32% and go, whoa, that's a low number. But yeah, keep in mind, That's a number that we're calculating before we figure out how much other things come off your check, like your payment to the Canada Pension Plan and income tax and stuff like that. So, example 1, you wish to purchase a home and wish to have a $900 monthly mortgage payment. Your gross monthly income is $3,500. The monthly property taxes are $125 and the monthly utility costs are $150. So, my GDSR is $900 for the monthly mortgage payments plus the utility costs, which are $150 per month, plus $125 per month for the property taxes, all divided by, and the monthly income for this person is $3,500. So I'm going to add that up and times by 100. Now be careful when you're doing this calculation. Remember that your calculator is scientific. It will want to do this divide before these adds unless I use a bracket for the add. So I'll use a bracket. So open a bracket, 900 plus 150 plus 125, close the bracket, divided by 3,500, and then times by 100 equals. And okay, so that is 33.57%. And that's the person's GDSR. And now explain, will this person be approved for the mortgage? And the answer is no. And the reason why they will not be approved for the mortgage is their GDSR is higher than our magic number, 32%. So if this was the situation and they were trying to get this mortgage to get that monthly payment, they would be turned down. The bank would say, nope, go try to find a cheaper place to live or a job that pays you more money. Okay, example 2. Now, that is a very simple example that we just did. Most of these questions throw some extra calculations in there to try to kind of mess with you a little bit. So, for example, let's see what we got here. This is a married couple or a couple together buying a house, and the mortgage company has offered them a monthly mortgage payment of this. Some questions will actually get you to calculate the monthly mortgage payment, so you can do that. Tom's job pays $2,400 per month. Sarah's has this. So now the gross monthly income is 2 incomes that you have to add together. The utility company estimates the annual costs of electricity and gas. So there's the first thing we have to do. The electricity and gas, the monthly payments, it doesn't give it to you. It tells you how much it is annually, which means per year. So the first thing you got to do is make that a monthly payment. So how much is 2,640 divided by 12 months a year? Aha! So that's $220 per month. And same thing with the property taxes. The property, that one I can do in my head. The property taxes are $3,600 per year, and 36 divided by 12 is 3 with 2 zeros on it. So that's $300 a month. So the GDSR is the mortgage payment of $1,145 plus the, look at the formula, the utilities, and I just calculated that the utilities cost this much per month, $220, plus the $300 a month for the property taxes. And now we have to divide that by both of their gross monthly incomes. So that's, let's see, what was Tom's again? Tom's is $2,400 and Sarah's was $2,450. So, times 100. And let's punch buttons. So let's see, let me bring that down. Can we see both at the same time? Maybe if I do that, that's better. Okay, so open a bracket. 1145 plus 220 plus 300, close bracket, divided by, and then I need to tell the calculator to add this before I divide, so I need brackets on the bottom as well. Open bracket for the bottom, 2,400 plus 2,450, close that bracket, and times 100 is, and well, it looks like both of these guys get bad news. 34.33%. So therefore, no, they won't qualify for this mortgage. Their GDSR is greater than 32%. So again, they have some options here. They could try to see if they could negotiate a lower monthly mortgage payment, which means maybe they pay the mortgage longer. It doesn't say what the term of this amortization is. Maybe this was for a 20-year mortgage. Maybe they could lower the payments and try for a 25. Or again, they could maybe try to find a cheaper house or cheaper condominium, whatever they're trying to buy. They even could try something along the lines of just waiting and not buying a house right now and try to save up more of a down payment on the house to try to cut down on how big the mortgage payment is. But one way or the other, the bank will not get them that mortgage because their GDSR would be too high. And that's pretty much all there is to Lesson 4. You are now ready to try Assignment 4. Thank you very much for watching, guys.